Donald Trump will be the 45th president of the United States.
Who President Obama called the most qualified person ever to run for the White House couldn't break through. The question remains, who can?
How many of you are here today because of the election? Everybody, almost everybody.
Emerge America offers training in 18 states. They say they've seen an 87% increase in applicants since the election.
Representation matters, and when only 17% of the House delegates are women, that we need to elect some more women. No matter what you look like, where you come from, how you worship, or who you love, we need more women in the House of Delegates, y'all. If every day on the campaign trail was like this, then this would be the best job ever. How can you write legislation about gender identity when you shut out transgender people from the legislative process? Clearly, I missed some along the way. But when you author more than 2,500 news stories about the greater Prince William County area, you got a lot of stuff. 10 years later, we're still dealing with some of the same exact stuff that I was covering as a newspaper reporter. Power towers, just like now. Immigration, just like now. Mass shootings, just like now. And what's funny with this one, so I wrote for the National Journal with the hotline, anyway, part of the National Journal for 3.5 years. But there's my old self, like right behind George Allen. I like where I am now a lot more than where I was 2012. If you look just close enough, you can see where I was thinning my brows. That was the only avenue of female expression that I could have. We're gonna go over to headquarters.
Activists say the bill is practically identical to North Carolina's HB 2, which bans transgender people from using restrooms that correspond with their gender identity.
How could a woman distinguish between a transgender individual who means no harm and a male who does intend harm?
He said, quote, "DNA doesn't lie and biology isn't bigotry, and I taught grammar."
Discrimination has no place in the Virginia House of Delegates, and when you focus on it in lieu of actually taking care of your infrastructure, the residents will eventually respond to that. The day that we have overpasses that run through Centerville without any traffic lights along Route 28, I'll retire and say, okay, I'll go back to having a life. If the Republicans want to get rid of me, fix Route 28. Whenever someone asks me, how many doors have you knocked down? I say this. That's what's left of the tread.
That's awesome.
Okay, that's how many doors. I'm a 32-year-old stepmom. I live right down the street off of Signal Hill Road here in Manassas, and my #1 priority is fixing Route 28, because everyone from Manassas is the Route 28 horror story, and I'm sure you do too. That's the launching point for the conversation. Well, but you're transgender. Isn't this whole thing just about that? It's like, when I was in 6th grade, I had to stay an extended day until 6:30, 7 o'clock at night because my mom was stuck in Battle 28 traffic for 2 hours. His legislative priorities are more focused on where I go to the bathroom as a transgender woman than how his constituents get to work.
Have you considered her as one of the candidate you'd support?
Anywhere between like Maplewood Drive, and as like the south side of it. Send them out there. That's perfect for them. That is prime target.
I met Danica and she exuded the kind of passionate energy you don't really see in local politics. It's the royal Danica.
All right, let's go hop in the car. We'll be back. Right now in the city of Manassas Park, they have 60-year-old cast iron, water pipes, and they're replacing 0% of them per year right now because they don't have the money to do it. That is incredibly important, and no one will vote on it. Can't find my spironolactone. All right, well, we're gonna take this one anyway. All right, and we'll find the spironolactone a little later. So many people, potential donors, and they're all Equality Virginia donors. But at this point, I'm really of the mindset of like, all right, I did my thing, I showed up, I gotta get to the next event. Happy dance. Next event is a fundraiser for Don Adams. I'll make a pitch tonight, but at the same time, I understand that I'm there to help Don.
Is it weird to be like super famous right now?
Only on the internet.
Yeah, okay.
She is known for gender identity, but what she should be known for is her amazing ability to communicate the issues in Northern Virginia. I give you Danica Roem.
Sure. I got an email from a mother in Roanoke, and she told me that her 10-year-old daughter, she decided she was finally going to present as female at school. And according to her mother, 3 other girls beat the hell out of her. And she's still being her little self. And her mother closed the email to me saying, and you are giving us hope. In the General Assembly right now, you have 0 transgender lawmakers. How can you write legislation about gender identity when you shut out transgender people from the legislative process? We have the data, we have the work ethic, we have the message to win this race. This election has to prove nationwide that discrimination is a disqualifier.